Hey everybody, hope you're having a good week so far. I was talking with a good friend of mine earlier today. We had a good conversation, talked about a lot of different things, but we mostly talked about what's going on in the world right now. And the consensus, what we agreed on is that things just don't add up. It's like we're living in a bizarro world, where up is down and down is up. Good is called bad and bad is called good, and it's just opposite. And the feeling is that a big storm is coming, and you can just see it start on the horizon, and it's getting closer. Hard to put our finger on it, but maybe we're just being paranoid. That may be it, but call us crazy. However, uh, if you just look at the things that are happening that have been going on, I remember when people were saying couldn't wait to get done with the year 2020, and they said, I just can't wait till the year 2021. It'll be back to normal. Aren't you glad? And I was telling them, I'm like, I don't want to be a negative Nancy here, but if you've been keeping up with current events, I don't see anything that's gonna, prevent these just from continuing. It's just a feeling I had. And we're still in bizarro world for sure, right? I mean, in shortages of everything. Uh, Looks like it's going to be the norm for quite a while, and I think it's going to keep going on and on. As long as we still have the pandemic situation going on, and these variants, call them what you will, or everybody has what they believe on that. But as long as these variants keep coming up and disrupting things and making people go into quarantine, and certain countries are more locked down than others, it's having an effect on all the ports and shipping, and it's all interconnected. So it's just getting worse. So it's not getting better. And I think it's just going to keep going on. You're talking about not just food, food's one of them, but goods, services, other consumer products, and the labor issue is still out there. So it's not just food. It can be anything from car parts to just raw materials to commodities. I think we're looking at almost a total collapse of the food and consumer goods supply chain. And I think we're going to keep seeing the effects of it for at least 2 more years. That's just my personal belief. Hope I'm wrong on that, but just from what I'm reading, I'm going to link an article that I went through. Interesting, a lot of good information, and it makes me think also of a video that I did a month or so ago. I had a comment from one of the subscribers. She made a good point. She said, we've been blessed and really lucky for a long time at having all this stuff available, at our fingertips. Lots of variety. If we needed something repaired, boom, we can just get it done. If you've got some money to do it, or it didn't cost as much before, and we just had a lot of things that are available to us, an abundance of everything, abundance of food, fully stocked all the time. Not just food, but other things. Your parts, your lumber. You need something built, okay, go for it. You just get a few bids on it and go for it. And she said that the new norm, what we're going to be looking at right now, the reality is you're going to have three choices. And in the context, she was talking about her family contemplating or trying to get a farm, I think it was some farm equipment or something repaired. You're going to have three choices. Number one, do it yourself if you can. Number two, pay somebody locally to do it. Or number three, just do without it. And I think that's so true. I mean, it's very simple, but it's very true. And I think that's reality going forward in a lot of situations for a lot of things. The world is still short of almost everything. It seems like everything, really. And I think, like I said, is the new norm. The Port of LA, I don't know, might have heard about this, but the Port of Los Angeles, this was a record, 46 container ships just sitting out there waiting to unload. Unreal. Unreal. I saw a picture of it. 46 container ships just sitting out there. That's a lot of stuff, y'all. And it's just waiting to offload. We're not producing stuff to send back overseas to these places. That's one thing. That's just one thing. You got all these containers built, stacked up, not going back with anything in it. You got an unrelenting pandemic. Delays is causing all kind of problems. Delays, product shortages, rising costs of shipping, is slamming large and small businesses. Small businesses for sure, but also the large ones. As consumers face increasingly no stock available and no idea when you're going to get it. That's anything from furniture to electronics to a lot of things you're used to getting really quickly on Amazon. Can't get it. So I think that the computer chip shortage is just deepening. It's not getting better. Toyota slashing production at least 40% in Japan and North America. Factories around the world are limiting production. They're short of a lot of things from metal parts to plastics, rubber. So you got a great supply chain disruption. Not just Toyota, but General Motors and Ford are both halting production of a lot of their popular things like trucks and vehicles like trucks and SUVs. They're temporarily shutting down 8 plants across North America. Same goes, or similar goes, for Ford, Nissan, Dodge. It's global, and it's almost like it's planned conspiracy. I don't want to say it's conspiracy. I'm not a big conspiracy guy, but it just seems like there's something else going on. Something big. And who's profiting from all this? Who's really, the cost of everything keeps going way up. Who's really getting out of something out of this? The shipping costs have skyrocketed. With inflation, we've talked about that a lot, and you hear a lot of people talk about that. It just keeps going straight up. Who's really benefiting? Share your thoughts on that. I don't know for sure, but so like I said, it's more than just food. It's parts, automotive, appliances, electronics, plastics, like aluminum, steel, restaurant supplies, ingredients for foods. I think it's going to close a lot of small businesses and maybe some large ones as well. How do we mitigate this? How do we deal with this? Several things. Get used to doing without on some things, or build it, make it yourself. Other options, less Christmas gifts. Got the holiday season coming up. By the way, get your Thanksgiving stuff right now. If you're hosting Thanksgiving, even if you're not, you want some of that stuff, I would start loading up right now. By the way, I went into a Kroger store here locally, right where I live, yesterday, pick up a few things, and flour and sugar gone. I mean, the shelf was completely empty. I've never seen it like that, and I've seen it kind of low, but all the sugar gone. I mean, flour gone. That was freaky. Now, it could have been a thing where they are short of employees, stock crew needs to fill it back up, but I've never seen it completely empty like that. Starting to see the shelves get a little more bare each time. Now, if you go in and you're not really paying attention, you may not notice some things like that, but dang, it's hard not to miss what I saw yesterday. So other things, like I was talking about, build your own if you can. Self-sufficiency is going to be the key. Learn a new skill. What we're doing here as well, we're going to plant an herb garden. Try to get less dependent on pharmaceuticals. Just be more natural about things as best we can, at least. We're doubling our vegetable garden for spring. We're going to do some fall planting as well. You don't have to be a full-scale homesteader, okay? Just try to grow some more stuff, all right? Trade with your neighbors. Try to support your local farming or farmers market and local businesses. I know I got a neighbor that grows tomatoes like crazy. We had a huge abundance of green beans, in our garden. we've been trading off and on. I mean, he's been giving us tomatoes, we give him beans. Works out pretty good. So, little things like that. That's just a small scale bartering right there. And not really bartering. He gives us some stuff. And so I give him an abundance, some of what we have, just to be giving. So share what you're doing. Are you doing some things differently to prepare for this kind of thing? I think they're just going to keep these shortages just going to keep going on. How are you mitigating this? And share those in the comments. I'd appreciate it. Uh, we're not done seeing all the changes for sure. Our world, it just seems like every day, I wake up, I'm like, what now? But one thing that doesn't change, the constant, of course, we know the Lord our God, Christ is the constant, always there, always will be, always in charge. And like I've said before, none of this goes on without his permission. All part of the plan. We don't see it all. We don't see all of what's going on, the whole plan. He does. His ways are not our ways, right? So keep praying, keep prepping, keep stacking. And I appreciate you watching. God bless you. See you soon.